When the night is upon the earth, a beautiful and unknown universe is open to our eyes, leaving to the imagination an unlimited freedom to explore and discover, to think and dream, to write and paint. In the planetarium, a clean sky free of lights and pollution transports us to other times and places. This fascination that overwhelms us when we look at the night sky is something innate to humans, and throughout history, we are aware of many different interpretations that attempt to describe, with more or less success, what we feel and see. Philosophy, art, science, or poetry, all of them have woven different theories about the origin and evolution of a universe, where besides energy, space, and time, we ourselves and everything surrounding us belong to.
My work is a game, a very serious game.
Who is this Moritz Cornelis Escher for whom his work is a game? Is he a mathematician? An architect? An artist? A traveler?
All my works were done with the intention of expressing a particular idea. These ideas are based on my awe and admiration for the laws contained in the world around us. For these phenomena to move us, we need without doubt the admiring talent of children, and I possess it in abundance. Admiration is the salt of the earth. Who wonders still about the moon, suspended high in the sky?
Escher, very fond of astronomy, feels the attraction of the night sky and wonders about celestial phenomena. He shows fascination on the origin of the universe. Shows Orion's constellation. And plays admirably with sun and moon. Or recreates other worlds' landscapes with impossible architectures. He displays a universe of objects and landscapes whose forms seem to move on their own. As the polyedra, which Plato associated to the origin of humanity and cosmos. Pythagorean cosmology associates them with the four fundamental elements of nature. This Pythagorean model inspired Kepler a cosmology which related the 5 regular polyhedra to the 6 known planets. He called it the cosmographic mystery. Escher constructed a model of universe in which the bodies were inscribed one in each other. He was tremendously interested in the regularity of polyhedra and how it also showed up in the crystal structures, sensing the fractal concept. Escher is marveled by crystals in nature, their perfect symmetries, their transparency and color diversity.
Long before man existed on Earth, crystals grew in the Earth's crust. There's something thrilling in the laws governing the crystalline formations. They're not the product of human work. They are independent of us. They simply are.
Escher, born in Holland in 1898, travels to Italy and is excited about its landscapes. Villages cut on high cliffs, shore hamlets with steep roads and staired streets. On his first trip to Spain, the Alhambra impresses him deeply. Especially the geometric shapes of tiles and plasterwork. He wrote in his diary,
This morning I was at the Alhambra. I thoroughly enjoyed this sublime and noble work of art. In the afternoon, I went back there again and began to copy the ornaments of the tiles. The Arabs developed a great skill in the art of filling surfaces with figures that are repeated without leaving one free slot.
These visits will give a turn to his work. From them, he will devote himself to what he called the regular partition of the plane, breathing life into pure geometry.
The regular partition of the surface is the richest source of inspiration I've ever encountered, and is still far from exhausted.
does Escher achieve this effect? It is not difficult, with regular polygons. He appeals to mathematics by performing linear shifts, symmetries, and rotations. But if the polygon is deformed and the procedure is repeated, the results yield greater beauty. Escher doesn't stop here.
It is unfortunate that Islam prohibits images. Therefore, the mosaics were limited to the use of abstract geometric shapes. No Arab artist dared to use recognizable figures, birds, fish, reptiles, men, as decorative elements.
However, Escher succeeds admirably.
Although I do not have any training in mathematical sciences or other expertise, I often feel closer to mathematicians than to my own colleagues.
What was his profession? He was neither an architect nor astronomer, geologist, or mathematician. The ancient Pythagorean conception of a universe made up of 5 regular polyedra can be considered as a good starting point for a cosmological model. Although old and inaccurate, it is based on observation, which is the essence of the scientific method. The universe was formed about 14 billion years ago. The Big Bang is somewhat difficult to explain for mathematics, and it is called a singularity. From her, the universe was born, and space and time with it. And space began to expand without a center. With Escher's work, Cubic Space Division, we can understand this concept. If we place ourselves in any of the cubes in the joints of this expanding lattice, it seems that everything shifts away from us. It looks like we are the center of expansion. The situation is very similar in the universe. Each group of galaxies is moving away from us and from each other. Some of the major issues raised about the universe, like whether it is finite or infinite, flat or curved, can be found in some Escher prints in which the same structure is replicated cyclically, reducing to infinity, while keeping its shape unchanged. With the same shapes as described by the astrophysicist Penrose, Escher recreates the geometry of flat space, a curved and finite space, and a curved and infinite space.
In my works, I attempt to testify that we live in a neat and beautiful world, and not in a shapeless chaos, as it sometimes seems.
Escher plays beautifully with the perspective, as in his waterfall, in which, if it was possible to build, it would constitute a perpetual source of free energy. Or in his famous Belvedere, where two floors are parallel and perpendicular at the same time. And his work Up and Down, which joins in a single image the simultaneous views of two observers watching from the floor and the roof. He is also interested in the new ideas in physics of his time, like relativity and gravitation, and he used to talk about them with scientist friends. In Other World, he shows us the relativity of the vertical. Which is the floor? Which is the ceiling? Which are the walls? Using this same idea, Escher presents his lithography, Relativity.
Three flat gravitational surfaces influence each other respectively in the vertical direction. Three flat surfaces, on each of them living people, intersect at right angles. Two people from different worlds cannot walk, sit, or stand on the same floor, as their ideas of what is horizontal or vertical do not agree with each other. However, they can use the same ladder. In the upper ladder, two persons move in the same direction, but one goes up and the other down. It seems impossible that they can get to establish some contact with each other. They live in different worlds and know nothing about the other's existence.
Regarding his portrait gallery, he tells us,
Two very erudite persons have long tried to convince me that I had drawn a Riemann surface. I doubt they are right. Anyhow, Riemann is beyond my capability. What I tried to represent is a surface that was just swelling, ring-shaped, without beginning or end.
Escher was, thus, an artist marveling at nature around him, amazed by the beauty of landscapes, by crystals and their perfect order, by mathematics and astronomy, by the new physics developing in the early 20th century, an artist able to express simultaneously the regularity and the diversity. stillness and movement. The beginning and the end. Night and day. Let us listen to him once more before saying goodbye.
So beautiful and pure are the things I try to express. So let us try to climb the mountain, not to set foot on what is below us, but to lift us toward what is above us, which in my case are the stars.